Hi, everybody. Welcome to the studios of MCTV in Midland, Michigan. My name is Dale Robbins, along with my co-host, Rich Violette. And as we are doing weekly now for another dozen weeks, and we did a week ago, it is Northwood Replay 2019. Our opportunity to invite Coach Leonard Haynes in his 5th year at Northwood University as head coach into the studio to talk a little football, because that's the life he lives and we live while he's here with Rich and I. Great to have you back, Coach.
Good to be back.
We took on a bit of a turbulent team from Ohio last week, and the Tiffin Dragons came to town for their season opener, as it was for us. You guys played a whale of a ball game. It was a fun game to do, and unfortunately you came up on the losing end of that score, 22-19, but it was within your grasp, and you guys actually had one of the most exciting losses in my time at Northwood with the way you played, not just the last few minutes of that game, but certainly the second half and the first half combined. Tell us a little bit about week one against a GMAC team, great Midwest Athletic Conference, where many of the GLIAC foes have gone and formed down in the GMAC League. So Tiffin is not a new club for you, but it's certainly now in their change in conferences creates a little bit different atmosphere. What about Saturday?
Yeah, Tiffin is, first of all, it's a pretty good football team.
Right.
You know, we knew coming in that they would be pretty good. Yeah, they were part of the GLIAC, and now they're part of a different conference, the GMAC, in which, you know, we knew what type of opponent we were going up against. It doesn't matter the conference. And so, but I'm really proud of the way our guys came out and fought against Tiffin. They fought to the bitter end, and you know that's one that a coach can be proud of, because you see there's no quitting your football team, right, and that these young men will fight for each other. And you know, at the end of the day, I was just excited how we competed. And yes, it was good for the fans, you know, with the exciting finish, the catch, things of that nature. At the end of the day, we still came out with a loss. You know, no one wants to lose, you know, because we play to win the game, as you've heard before. And but I am very, very happy about this football team and where we are.
Coach, I know you always talk about taking care of the little things, and that was a tale of two halves in that football game. I mean, you know, there were some things that unfortunately went against us the wrong way in the first half. What would you tell the team at halftime? Because you were a different team when you came out. You guys played phenomenal in that second half.
Well, it's not so much what I've said. I think our coaches made some adjustments. I take my hat off to our coaches. They made some adjustments, necessary adjustments, because dealing with Tiffin, there was a new coaching staff, so they were doing some different things, and our guys made the adjustments at the halftime, and basically all I told our guys is we got 30 minutes left. You know, it's not over, and they took it from there. And I believe we have tremendous leadership on this football team, and those young men kind of took it from there. And what you saw last week is, you know, a byproduct of the leadership and what our coaches have done.
Hats off to the coaches then, because limited the team to 1 score after halftime. Being right in the game, it was very positive.
Yeah, you went in at the half trailing by 13. It was 16-3. They had 2 scores in the second half, both field goals, and you also turned them away with some field goal attempts. They were only one of 3, I believe, on the afternoon. Your special teams and your defense, as you tout, is certainly being as important as the offense itself and the points you put on the board. I thought that's what I saw after 4 quarters was a combination of every component of your team, O, D, and special teams, contributing in big ways throughout the day.
Yeah, exactly right. You know, it's a 3-headed monster, basically, and our special teams put us in some great positions, and that's what it's about. You know, special teams create some of the field positions, and those kids take it seriously. You know, and I've talked about this quite a bit. Coach Arnold does a magnificent job at preparing those young men, and so we took advantage of some things that we saw. We got a couple blocks on the field goal, and we had a pretty decent punt return on one in a situation in the game. So, you know, my hat's off to all those coaches and players, you know, for what they've done and what they mean in this football team.
And I was going to ask you, what are the positive takeaways of the game Saturday? And I think you just mentioned a whole handful of them right there.
Oh, yeah.
And then Joey going down again. Of course, Grant comes in and does a great job filling in, making good decisions.
Yes.
So you got to be happy with that you got depth.
Oh yeah, we have depth. You know, especially at the quarterback spot. You know, Grant and Joe have a great relationship. All those quarterbacks have great relationships. These guys been doing it for a number of years now. So, you know, they're not a selfish bunch of guys. You know, if Joe does happen to go down, we know Grant's going to come right in and fill the void. And so that's the type of relationship those guys have. And, you know, Joe will be back this week, you know, ready to go.
And that's great. It's not all about me.
Exactly.
It's about us.
It's about us. You know, and that's kind of our theme, really. It started with special teams theme, but it's really, it's the whole team theme, I believe now. And so it's about us, and those guys understand that, and we don't bat an eye.
Excellent.
So many coaches are so reliant on their senior leadership and the guys that keep coming back, but you guys just keep growing these underclassmen that come in and are difference makers. I'm going to throw a couple of names at you here that in week 1 stood right out on paper and in person. Noah Brown is a young sophomore out of Plymouth, linebacker for you. He ends up leading the team in tackles. He has 11 of them. And your defense overall just was outstanding. Casual Goldsmith, a youngster who had more touches than anybody. He had eight touches on the day, collects the most yardage from any of your wingbacks or running backs. He ends up with 49 yards on the day. And you touched on Grant Dunacek, just a junior. And Grant's he's 4 of 11 with a pick as well, but he throws 2 touchdowns. You got no place to hide these underclassmen, Coach. You bring them in and you put them in use. But how important is game time, playing time for these youth to get that confidence up?
Oh, it's of great importance. You know, Noah played as a true freshman last year,
right?
But we kind of had to play him because of some of the injuries that we had last year. So he was kind of thrusted into that spot, and obviously it's paying dividends already because, you know, he understands the game, he understands the defense, the speed of the game. So it's definitely helped him, as you can see in game number 1. And then you talk about Casual Goldsmith, a young man who, you know, was redshirted last year, so he's a redshirt freshman this year, who, you know, in practice, he always goes hard. He runs hard. He does not know how to slow down. And so what you saw again was that practice carrying over to games, I guess, if you will, with Goldsmith. And we look for him to get better and better each week as we go along. So, and Grant Dunacek obviously speaks for himself. He's a junior, and so I think a lot of people know who he is. So there's definitely no hiding him.
Right.
From coach speak, I seen Casual hit the hole. He's seeing the hole. You know, he runs well. He's got good visual of the field.
Yeah, and that's good. When, you know, Cash is one of those guys. He can see a hole and he can sneak through a crease.
Yeah,
it could be a small crease, but he can see it and he'll hit it. And we know he's going 100 miles per hour.
Very noticeable. I don't know how he snuck up on us, Coach. You were keeping him under wraps a little bit.
No, you got to keep some of these guys under the radar.
All right. So if anyone were there on Saturday, you got a chance to see guys hit the hole and defense and special teams stand out and make the plays when they needed to. Let's say you weren't there. If we had some video replays of last Saturday's game, would you talk us through that, Coach?
if we had some?
Let's try some.
Yeah,
let's see if we can't conjure that one up.
I'll try my best.
All right, I knew you would.
All right. Get things started here. A little bit of defense here. It's a great job by Milan Slaughter. You know, he's a young man that joined us from Malone. And here's Casual Goldsmith. Speaking of him,
seeing a hole.
Hard runner, sees a hole, great vision. Look for big things from him throughout the year. Here he is again. You know,
that's what I'm talking about right there, Coach. Seeing that hole.
Yeah, he can see the hole.
Slippery.
He can make a guy miss, so it's good. Here's Josh Davin in the defense. Quarterback draw. You know, they hurt us a little bit with that early on in the game with a touchdown. And talking special teams, I don't know who blocked that specifically, but Mayran, that's a good job by Mayran. And here's Dante Bannon on the quarterback. Pressure, and our guys rallying to the ball. And so, you know, there's field goal by Parker Bless, another kid that played as a true freshman. And now he's a little bit more experienced out there kicking those field goals. So it's been a pleasant surprise to see. Then we have Cook, Mr. Midland. That was a big first down, key first down for us. And you see Joey dropping back. I thought this was an incredible pass by Joe to get it up over that defender to Martinez, and an incredible catch by Martinez. I thought that was very, very good. And good job there by our DB on that pass breakup. And here's Joe to Cook.
Another big first down.
Another big first down. And so here it is now, a handoff to a big senior running back. Levy.
Yeah.
Love him. And here's, I think this is Nate now at quarterback, came in because Dunchek hat came off.
We got to get that fixed, Coach.
I know. He needs a new helmet. Something has to happen.
Yeah.
And that's a good job by Demi on the quarterback. Pressure there, getting him down. And here's Dunchek. This is basically in the second half. Dunchek came in. Another key first down while we're driving the ball. And here's the catch everyone is talking about. The throw and the catch to Brian Keefe. And they said on ESPN, you got mossed, as they call it.
Yeah. We're going to call him Big Play Keefe.
Big Play Keefe.
Yeah.
No, it's great. This kid does his things in practice. And again, that's one of those things.
Just a sophomore.
Just a sophomore. And played as a true freshman as well. And then his exciting return by Martinez. As everybody knows, Martinez does a number of different things for us. He's a very exciting football player. And here it is to Grant to Martinez again. Great catch, throwing catch. And here's a good job by our defense collectively. Just getting to the ball, running to the ball.
5 tacklers, 6 when it comes late.
Absolutely. And here's a great play. Grant to Jalen Lewis. But you notice the blocking down the field. You know, it's really what makes this play.
Christian Martinez doing a great job.
Christian Martinez, and there's kind of a couple other guys with some great cut blocks out there. So that's what it takes on those little things like that. And Grant obviously scrambles for the first down, and unfortunately we come out with a 22-19 loss. But I love the way our guys competed, like I said.
Well, and you should. And it was a great turnout. We had great weather for it. Yeah. It showed to me in the last 2 quarters in the second half that your team was prepared. Yeah. And the adjustments that made coming out of the first half, and we talked about it a week ago right here, about what do you expect from a first-year coach in a program that you guys have been real competitive with. I mean, you guys have been playing each other since 1967. Oh, yeah. You know, you got a lot of games under your belt. You beat them twice your first 2 years here. They've won the last 2, and then last Saturday they now have a 3-game run. But it's kind of exciting to see that your preparation, you didn't have to make things up in the second half. You just executed things differently based on your coaches, as you've said, that made the adjustments.
Yeah, they made the adjustments. Hats off to those guys.
You bet. Let's look around the GLIAC and take a look at some of the results.
Last week, non-conference action for all of us with Slippery Rock over Wayne State. You got Indianapolis, big win over Ashland. I believe Ashland scored 6 or 9 points, actually. Fair State over Findlay, which was a very, very, very close game. And SVSU went down to Texas A&M Kingsville and beat those guys 35-14. And you have Northwood over, Northwood versus Tiffin. And Grand Valley over Edinburgh, 35-10. Northern Michigan, 30 over Michigan Tech. 30 to 9 over McKendree. Michigan Tech over Hillsdale, 29-14.
That's a surprising score, isn't it?
Yeah, but everybody can be beaten, right?
Yeah, right. For
Hillsdale's lost to Michigan Tech, by the way, kicked them out of the D2.com top 25. Yeah. We keep talking about the GLIAC, and everybody goes, yeah, but it's just the GLIAC. Well, right, currently, now Hillsdale's out, but they have 3 of the top 25 teams in the country. Right. Ferris sits at number 2 right now. Grand Valley is at 9, so you got 2 in the top 10. And then even Ashland with the loss still bumped down a few spots from 20 to 25 this week. You don't play better football in D2 than what the GLIAC's playing.
No, and it's very, very competitive.
Yep.
Obviously, even our non-conference opponents, we schedule pretty tough. So.
Yeah. Well, overall records, you had a chance to look at those. Tell me a little bit, Coach, in the couple minutes that we have left here in our opening segment before we bring in an unhelmeted player so everyone recognizes him. We're going to have to start putting a number on him for the show so everybody can refer to their program to get an idea who your young fellas are. But I was very impressed with your red zone defense on Saturday. You guys, as you had said, were put in some situations a couple of times that your red zone D, you didn't give up. You didn't give up a touchdown. I think Tiffin ends up being 0 for 3 in the red zone, and they came away with a field goal. And you blocked the first one, what gets in the kicker's head for the next attempts. That if you block them the first time, they're thinking about it just ahead of the snap, right? And the minute we have left here, because I know you're a defensive guy, how vital is that red zone mentality for what your club
Oh,
does.
it's huge. It's key, and especially coming off a couple of turnovers
Right.
we got down in there. And for our guys to go out there and make those stops in that crucial moment, some adversity, they went out there, they did their jobs, they handled the adversity, and they were able to get the ball back for our offense, and that's what it's about, right? And so our coaches, again, do a great job. As probably a lot of coaches, you work on those things,
Mm-hmm.
and you get what you emphasize. And so we emphasize it, and that's what we got.
And, Coach, I'll tell you, it is the little things, because I noticed late in the game, there was a series late, third down, we needed a stop. And the twos started on the O-line, gave the ones a breather.
Mm-hmm.
And that's great coaching. On third down, the ones came back in and made a big stop.
Yes.
And we get the ball back. And that's hats off to the coaching, the players, know that, you have to agree.
I agree with you, Rich. I mean, for our guys to recognize that and understand that and realize where we are in the game, that's huge, and that pays dividends.
And that goes back to the depth you were just talking about as well a little bit earlier. That's it for segment one. We are done with the Tiffin Dragons until next year. We're going to talk a little Findlay and the Oilers a week, 52 hours from now. But first, we get inside the huddle and maybe even get an audible and make a call. Joey Garbarino is here next. He will be seated at Northwood Replay 2019. Stay where you're at here on MCTV. Welcome back, everybody. Dale Robbins, Rich Violette, and Joe Garbarino. Northwood's MBA student, as a matter of fact, through Northwood's DeVos program, graduated in May of this year, of 2019, with his undergrad in supply chain management. It seems like a lot of the boys in the huddle and on the other side of the ball are supplying chains somewhere across America or the globe. You guys are in a phenomenal career choice, and I know that the prep that Professor Henschel and those give you, and he and his academic trend, you've got places to go and some choices to make here in the next few months, do you not?
Yes,
young fella?
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on the undergrad, and good luck with the MBA program. We were just talking about a little bit, and there's work that lies ahead, but it's certainly not anything that you're not accustomed to and not capable of. So it's great to see an education just shining off you, young fella.
Well, thank you.
Listen, the talk around town Saturday afternoon was, did you hear that? And we are referring to early in the second half, there was a targeting call made against Tiffin, and you happened to be the target, and the defender happened to be the targeter.
Yep.
And you took a lick again. That's not new for you. We have seen you take licks and bounce back up. This one you didn't bounce back up from. Tell us, Joey, a little bit about what had to have gone through your mind. Here you are. You're healthy coming in. We talked about your summer camp and all this stuff, and you were feeling good. And all of a sudden, a single snap later, things change, and you're on your back looking for our staff to go. You knew what day it was.
Yes.
You knew where you were at. You just weren't going to get right to your feet, right?
Yeah, like you said, I've taken a lot of licks in my days here.
Yes, sir.
But so the biggest thing for my senior year was to stay healthy and always slide and start using that because you
Which
guys
you did.
Yes, which you guys probably rarely ever see me slide. And so I thought, all right, this is a good time to slide. And so when I did, and I saw him lower his head, I just knew something bad was going to happen. When I took the hit, I just knew something was wrong. But other than that, I popped back up, and I wish I could have went back in the game, but Dunny came in and did a great job like he always does.
Yeah.
I noticed, we came out to practice last week, and I noticed you were staying low going through the holes, and I know that's coaching and that's, hey, let's stay healthy and let's learn how to take a hit and let's run hard. And then I see you slide and take that big hit, and I'm going, oh, my goodness. You're working on this. Have you done anything different in preseason, camp, in your mind to say?
Mentally, just preparing myself to slide more and just protecting my body and being able to dive down and know when enough is enough. Because in my career here, you could see me keep turning my feet, keep going for even extra yards.
Right.
So kind of mentally, I was preparing myself just to, okay, I got to get down. and I finally do, and it was the hardest hit I ever took in my life.
Right. Well, what's interesting is Rich said, Coach Violette said, learning how to take a hit. I think when we've referred to you in years past, it was really learning how to deliver one, because you rarely took one. You always were looking for the defender. You were looking for the linebacker or the corner or safety. In fairness, you kind of run at them and deliver it. So, it's got to be a change in gears for you. You referred to Grant Dunacek as Dunny, and Coach mentioned it in our first segment about the relationship you have as quarterbacks and as a team. As one of the team's captains and one of the leaders, what are you seeing in the 2019 club that maybe you hadn't seen in 18 or 17 as one of our generals on the field?
I see a lot of camaraderie and teamwork. In years past, like when I first got here, there was a lot of me kind of attitudes. Now it's more us, like you guys said in the first segment. It doesn't matter if I go down. The next man up, which is Grant Dunacek, is going to do a great job. And if his helmet comes off, the next man up, Nate Gomez, is going to do a great job. Just like he did on that third down and think 2.
Twice in a row,
yes,
Dunny's cap came off on a third and something. But you're right. So, it is that mindset and that relationship that you guys have about having it be we. Coach?
I always ask a player, usually in this segment, tell me about your position, but we don't need to tell the audience about the quarterback position because everybody aspires to be the quarterback, right? They all think they are quarterbacks, but we know you have to be a leader in that position, and you've been a good leader in that position. It shows by the way Dunny's come up and other kids. What about this week's game? It's a 7 p.m. kick, and for me it kind of feels like a Friday night. I used to love Friday nights. So
it'll be under the lights
it's under the lights. So do you get excited for something like that, or?
Yeah, I do. I always enjoy playing under the lights. I always like, for some reason, playing at Findlay. We haven't been there since my redshirt freshman year, but I really enjoy playing at Findlay. The only thing that's a little bummer is that the sideline's also like 3 yards, away.
No
so
distance.
If you make a catch or you go out of bounds, you might hit a fence with your shoulder. So I might need to slide.
Like hockey.
Yeah, exactly.
Up against the boards. Well, it is always a pleasure to get you here. It's always a pleasure to see you on campus, Joe. I know that your involvement is not just in the football field, in the classroom. You have done some amazing things through our community service outreach, our Go M.A.D projects. You have had your hands on the Midland community for the last 4+ years, and it shows not only in our community but in you and those who you lead. So I just wanted to say again, thank you for your leadership role and your commitment back to this community, to Northwood University, to Coach Haynes and your coaching staff. You are a great example of what Northwood is all about when we get you young and we send you away still young but older in your steps. So thanks so much.
Thank you.
He's number the rest of the season. Yeah, been fun to watch.
Yep, indeed. He's number 8 in your program, but he sits here live on Northwood Replay 2019. We'll be back and talk a little bit about the Findlay Oilers and what Joey and Coach Haynes are off to take on in Findlay, Ohio on Saturday at 7 p.m. And we'll talk to Coach right after this. Welcome back, everybody. MCTV's Northwood Replay 2019. Back in the studio with us is head coach Leonard Haynes of the Northwood Timberwolves. Coach, we see a team, another GMAC team. This time we go to Ohio to pull it off in the Findlay Oilers. And the Oilers, again, a rich tradition with Northwood. We've been playing them since the 60s. They now had a whale of a ball game. They were on the road a weekend ago, came up to Ferris, and they had Ferris on the ropes, chose to go for a 2-point conversion for the win instead of the extra point for the tie in OT. They chose to go for the win, and they got closed down, but they had Ferris in their own yard right on the cusp. Talk a little bit about, and that was a Friday night game a week ago. Talk a little bit about, there isn't a given come football day of what's going to happen.
No.
What creates an environment like that where Findlay can come up?
I think anytime you walk for Findlay, obviously going in and play one of the top teams in the nation, you're going to go and you're going to give your best. You're going to give your all. You're going to compete against the best. And so Findlay's got some good football players. They got good coaches. And so as we watched the game, as we're breaking them down, I mean, they were right in it. They had a chance to win it. And I'm not sure if I wouldn't have done the same thing. I probably would have gone for 2 on the road. And so Findlay's got, like I said, a good football team. They got a host of players that has stepped up. It looked like they had some young guys that are stepping up now. They've got some guys that's transferred in there. A couple D1 transfers on offense and defense that are playing at a high level already. So, so they're again, they're a team we're definitely preparing for and know that they're going to give us their best, and we got to go give our best.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure I see 2 teams coming into this game, both with confidence. Even though we took a tough loss, I see our team playing with a lot of confidence this week. Of course, they're going to be playing with confidence. If you had to throw a couple of keys to the game, this week's game out there, what do you think it would be?
Well, I think we just have to be sound in what we're doing and execute. We have to execute better. And, we talk about our theme being us. We got to take care of us and make sure we're doing our little things to put us in a position to win. And so they got a couple key players we definitely have to keep an eye on. Their receiver, transferred from Pitt, Flowers. We think he's a guy they're definitely going to target. They have to. 10
times last week.
Yes.
So
he's definitely a guy we got to target, but they got a good running game as well. And so, again, they're pretty balanced. We just got to make sure we're doing all we can do to step up to the task. And defensively, their defense runs around pretty good. They got some guys on defense, on the defensive line, another Division I transfer from Miami of Ohio, a kid that 6'5", 280-pound kid that runs around pretty good. And so, again, but they have great team speed, and so we got to find a way to offset that.
Okay, great.
First game on the road. Travel adds another dimension to the football schedule. It's not Missouri S&T. Whew. Thank goodness. That's a 16-hour ride to Missouri, wasn't it? Findlay's a fairly quick jump. Put everybody on the bus when you leave in town. You leaving Saturday or Friday night?
No, we're leaving Friday. We're leaving Friday afternoon. Get down there and get settled in, get the guys off their feet, relax a little bit, and try to get their minds right.
Right. And work amongst yourselves and create that you're in charge of your own destiny.
That's right.
Saturday.
Exactly.
Let's take a look this week's schedule, Coach. Here's what's happening week 2.
Yeah, some more non-conference things going on around the league. With Wayne State at Truman, Tiffin's going to Saginaw, Ashland's at Walsh, Davenport's playing Lake Erie, Michigan Tech at McKendree. You have Northern Michigan going down to Texas. I believe they played this team last year as well. We're on the road at Findlay. Delta State will be visiting over at Grand Rapids, Grand Valley, and Ferris State is traveling all the way out to Central Washington.
And our game is, again, we mentioned it early and a couple of times, it's a 7 p kick, so it's under the lights, Saturday Night Lights. We might be onto something with that.
How about that?
We will have it live for you. You'll get the audio and stats at GoNorthwood.com. Do that for every game. And then also WMPX now in their 30th plus year carrying Northwood Timberwolves football. And they also have joined in with their new FM station that Tom Steele has added to his collection of stations. 107.7 The Highway, also carrying our stream games on both of those radio stations. O&O, I know that's where you're approaching Saturday as, and I'll tell you what a blast it was last Saturday, and I'm excited for what lies ahead for you guys, just because of your attitude in the next man.
It's funny you say that, because the excitement, it just feels different.
It does.
We're getting texts from alumni. We're hearing from guys. Everybody's excited about the team, and I know you'll pass that on to the team.
Oh yeah.
To let them know that, hey, the community's excited, and we're excited, and the brand of football is fun, and we're enjoying it.
Well, good. That's what it's about. So it's about the community and the alums and getting the guys back involved with Northwood football.
Well, that's it for segment 2, week 2. Northwood Replay is now on the books, and we hope you enjoy the information and opportunity to chat with Coach Haynes and the players that he brings in. I think is a great facet of this program. Rich and I, we continue to try to get along on and off air. So you take a 30-year friendship raising each other's children and put them in a studio with a football coach. This could go anywhere. But we actually stayed to the page, which we're excited about. So in that case, for my partner, Rich Violette, for Coach Leonard, Haynes. My name's Dale Robbins. We're excited that you're with us for 2019 and all the gridiron action from Northwood University and on the road. We'll be back next Thursday to record it, and you'll be able to watch it here and online through our YouTube and many of our social outlets. So thanks for joining in, everybody. We'll talk to you a week from today. Go away and go away mad. We tell you that for a purpose. We need you to go away and make a difference. So long.